Sorry, left it muted. All right, I am back. We're gonna go ahead and get into the writing portion a little bit early today. So there was this meme that I saw floating around about this guy going into exile, and he built a scarecrow out of sticks and bones that he found in the desert. Yeah, there it is. But this is the picture, and that is what I am making today. Let's go ahead and start. So thinking exile, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring that into the world lore as well for the Awakened setting. Kind of want to go with like the Golem of Prague type vibes. So maybe like a bramble golem. When the Empire purged the Dazi. When has an H in it. When the Empire purged the Dazi for their howling heresies. One, a Shaolin priest broke ranks. What I'm thinking about doing is making it a priest that adopted some of the traits of the culture that the Ashallam were trying to expunge as they started suppressing and taking over the desert during the War of the Three Kingdoms. And let's see, what am I gonna name? Father Aruthel. Once a confessor of the Sunlit Choir, fled into the wastes, his faith withering as he escaped the Black Arteries shadow. In desperation, he invoked ancient Dazi rites of warding, meant to hide one's scent from desert predators. And the rite took. Now, where once he walked, bramble golems sometimes arise. Constructs, you know what? This needs to be an M dash. Constructs of wood, sand, sinew, and bone, animated by flailing prayers. They are living wards, shambling golems of ash and intent. You know what? He's no longer an salt and intent. This is the desert. He's no longer an Ashallan priest, so it won't be ash and intent. It'll be salt and intent. You know what? That sentence isn't finished. Protecting his presence and devouring those who find it. About that. How about that? Yeah. The Dazi call these golems song cages, for they hum. Oh wait, for is spelled with an O, not a P. They hum, where they hum softly when the wind passes through there forms a dirge of protection turned warning. I think that's good for lore. I think that's enough. I kind of want this to have the, like I said, I want it to have the feel of the Golem of Prague, and maybe like a little bit of like how North African desert scarecrow traditions are used to mark like cursed ground. And like they protect like graveyards. They keep like sanctified ground sanctified, and mark cursed ground and everything from the ancient cultures there. And it was adopted when Catholicism spread through there into their rituals. Neat stuff. I am going to steal a stat block that I made a few days ago, and we're just gonna start at the top and work our way down. This isn't Rasha the Dual Howler. This is Bramble Golem. It's not undead, it's a construct. Neutral evil. It 100% depends on who's creating it. So we're gonna say that doesn't matter, because it's just going to follow orders. It's a golem. That's what they do. We're gonna say 16 because I'm thinking like CR5. So we're gonna call it bone armor because it's got bones in it. At CR5, I think I want to do 10d10. 2d10 is an average of 11, so times 5 would be 55, so plus 40 to bring us to like 95. That looks good. I don't know if I want these to be slow or not. I think they're just gonna have a 30-foot speed. I don't think they need to burrow. I think that's gonna be fine. Strength, I think I'll leave that at 18. I think I will drop the dex down to 10 though. So I'm just gonna steal that over from where I've got int for the last one that I did. I think I want to leave constitution. I think I want this to be like a physical battle. So I'm oh, excuse me. Leave that there. Lower intelligence. I think that wisdom is fine. That charisma has got to go though. As far as saving throws go, I think I want to leave it constitution. +6 should be good. Let's go wisdom a little bit lower than the constitution. Skills, perception. It's the only thing that it needs. We'll just put that as +4. I'm just going to keep the bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical. I think that will be fine. I mean, it's still CR5, you know? So I think instead of immunities, it's going to have vulnerabilities. Make sure I spell that out right. And I think I want it to be weak to fire, which, I mean, that's common. It's a common thing for the party to have. Charmed, frightened, poison. Yeah, I mean, charmed, frightened, poison should work for it because it's a construct, right? So we'll just leave that there. I want its passive perception to be. I think I'm gonna up the passive because it's a golem. It's for protection. So I'm just gonna bring the passive perception up. I think it's going to have dark vision out to 60 feet though. And you know what? I'm gonna give it tremor sense out to 30 feet. Because that's its entire job, right? Is to sense anybody who is coming up on the person who has created it and summoned its essence into a golem. That should work. Understands telepathic orders from master. Boom. That was easy. Like I said, I want to do CR5, so that's going to be 1800 XP. Proficiency bonus is gonna stay at +2 because it's CR5. Let's go through and we're gonna go ahead and empty these out. You know what I should probably do in the future? I should probably empty. You know what? I should make a shell so that I can have this emptied out before we even come to it. I think it's going to have multi-attack, so I can just leave that and fix that. It's obviously going to have melee weapon attack. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take one because I think I'm only going to do like 2 different ones for this. I think that's all it needs. Now we'll just come back up here to traits and then we'll move on to actions. So I don't want it to have a burrow speed, but I think I want to give it a trait that allows it to burrow as part of its movement, but only for a short distance. And I think when it goes underground, it's going to leave part of its bones behind. But that's not going to lower its AC because it's going to pick up more that are under the surface of the sand. But I think it's going to leave them as kind of like a pile where it goes into the sand. So that's going to be like part cover and an obstacle that the party has to go around so that it gives its master more time to get away. We'll call it Desert Ward. While standing on sand, the bramble golem has, you know what, it's gonna have advantage on dexterity saving throws and can burrow up to 10 feet as a part of any movement, leaving behind a hollow shell of sticks that counts as half cover until destroyed. What's going to be a good AC for that? Let's go ahead and go with like 13 and 10 hit points. That should be fine. We're just trying to make this be a short obstacle for party members. More of a mild annoyance because that's gonna keep popping up over and over. So we don't want it to necessarily be damaging, if that makes sense. I want to do something for like when it hits bloodied. Like when it first gets attacked in combat, like when it takes damage, when it first bloodies. I want to, or like its master is in danger. I want to do something to do like a radius saving throw and psychic damage. Maybe a scream, because I mean it's Dazi, right? So it's all sound based. Because the Dazi are all like singers, and that's how their culture moves on and evolves within the hearts and minds of its own people, is through song and oral tradition. So we'll go ahead and we will make it hollow whale. You know what? This is going to be a recharge ability, but it's only going to have one number. When first bloodied, or when its master is in danger, the bramble golem emits a harmonic, let's not use whale because it's in the name, cry. All creatures, not hostile creatures, all creatures within 30 feet other than its master must make a DC 5, right? So let's go with 14 wisdom saving throw, or take, listen, like 3d6. 3d6, so 3.5 plus 3.5 is 7. So we'll make it 10 because we're not gonna round up. We're gonna round down in the party's favor. So take 10, 3d6 psychic damage, and become frightened until the end of their next turn. I've always wanted to do an ability like this, something that like kind of really fucks with the party. So if someone, CR5, right? So the sweet spot for damage for the party around here, like their upper tier is somewhere between like 15 to 22. So if someone hits it and does more than 15 damage, it immediately gets reduced to 10. Well, not necessarily immediately. It's going to be like a reaction ability, except it's always, every time, because it's a golem. It's the golem of Prague, right? Protective runes. Whenever the bramble golem takes more than 15 damage from a single attack, roll 1d6 on a 5, 6. You know what? Let's M-dash that. Just because I think that's easier to read. That's damage is reduced to 10 as runes flare across its form. You know what? I want to do something that I like doing with my undead. It's a as per the Ashalan, it's a faithless creation. So when reduced to 0 hit points, the bramble golem collapses into a heap of branches and bone. At the start of its next turn, it reanimates with 15 hit points unless damaged with fire for the killing blow. Yeah. Because the only option other than that is to slay the master. Right? Because it's a golem. It's going to have multi-attack, so the bramble golem makes 2 attacks with its arms are made out of branches, and well, it's specifically branches, so maybe branching slam. Oh, did I do this wrong up here? I did. That recharge doesn't get the period, the name gets it, and the recharge just goes. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. I'm gonna come up here since I already destroyed a melee attack, 100 hit, and damage. Melee weapon attack. See, it's gonna be a +6 to hit. I wanted to have reach, so I'm gonna do 10 feet. It's still gonna be 1 target on a hit. See, strength is +4. Let's do 2d6 +4, so this should be 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 4, so it's 11, not 61. But yeah, 2d6 +4, and it's gonna be bludgeoning damage. If the target is, you know what, this shouldn't be medium, this should be large. Yeah, large. If the target is oh, smacked my mic. Holy shit, is large or smaller, it must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw or be restrained by tangled roots. A restraint. Well, yeah. A restrained creature can use an action to make a DC 14 strength check, freeing itself on a success. Because I know 5.5 has a weird way of doing it. Impaling growth. This is going to be another recharge ability. This one's going to be slightly broader though. I want to do a radius ability, radius damage ability, and I think I want to knock them prone. And I think I want it to be another save suck. I think I want to be another save suck, and I think I want it to knock them prone. So the ground within 15 feet erupts with sharpened bones and roots. Creatures in the area, not hostile, but just creatures in the area, must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. What's 3d8? 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9, plus rounded down 4, so 13. Saving throw 4, take 13, 3d8 piercing damage, and be knocked prone. On a success, they take half as much, and aren't knocked prone. I think that works. I mean, it works for me. I don't like all this blank space here, but I want this ability to be completely over here, if that makes sense. I don't want Hollow Whale to be split up. So I think I'm going to do this whole tactics thing that I did with Rasha and his Spirit Wolves again. So I'm going to go ahead and steal this, and well, let's go ahead and get rid of the wide, because I can get rid of the wide. Oh, what happens if I get rid of the wide with this too? Oh, it puts it up here, but I can get rid of that. Ooh, that could be nice. So let's take this and put this here instead. Oh, that's not what I want. What if I do a column break here? Okay, that fixes it. How do we want this to do? So I think going off of the initiative, we will start it out. Starts under sand, opens with impaling growth, because that's the meanest thing that you can do to the party. It doesn't even know that even though there's no more surprise rounds in 5.5, I think that does well with it. Did I not change? But I don't think it's going to have phases. I think what it is it's going to be a like a defensive loop. Uses branching slam for restraint while hiding behind desert ward shells. It's just a defensive loop, so it just under the sand and under the sand to create these, because it leaves behind those shells, so it gets behind them, right? And then it's got a 10-foot reach, so it can just reach around those, and then it restrains that party member, so it can't even do anything. And they also count as half cover, so anybody from the other side of it, like this could be real messy for a party. And you know what? I'm kind of happy with that, but I'm just gonna take this real quick, and I'm gonna move it to the other screen. Sorry about that, because I need to bring something up that I did in a past project. I just need to steal how I do the images. I moved that down because it's gonna look real ugly for a second. So something I did prepare before stream, I went through and I did a thing, and I did some work with Photoshop. I got rid of the background on this meme, and you can kind of see right here, because I'm not great with Photoshop, but since this is where the end of the meme was, and it's that flat line when I did the work in Photoshop and did it, so I wound up with a flat line there. Not really much I can do about that, but I do think having a little bit of this guy also, he kind of looks like Gravelord Nito, which is just absolutely hilarious. We're gonna go ahead and move it. Oh nope, that's the wrong way. Okay, that looks good. So let's maybe make it slightly bigger. I think that looks good. Yeah, I think that's just fine, and I don't think like this needs any loot or anything. This might be where I leave it.